Hey everybody, welcome to another Quick Talk Raw, where we're going to talk about de-commoditizing your small business. Now, that might sound like a mouthful, but we're going to dig into it, and it's extremely powerful information for you. So, first of all, thanks for joining me. I've been getting a lot of great feedback on these short Quick Talk Raws. People are really liking them, they're sharing them, I'm getting more reviews on iTunes, and I just want to say thank you. I greatly appreciate it. Now, my idea with the Quick Talk Raw is to give you little nuggets, from my brain into your brain, things I use in my business, ideas, concepts, things that I've learned, right? And today we're going to talk about de-commoditizing your business. But before we start, let's do some definitions here. What is a commodity? Right? A service, now most everybody listening to this has a service business of some kind, and technically, from a definitional standpoint, a service really isn't a commodity. But it kind of is, too. A commodity is something that there's little differentiation between the product itself, regardless of who produces it. So, for example, grains, gold, silver, beef, oil. Let's use crude oil as an example of a commodity, right? It doesn't matter what company produces the crude oil. The crude oil is still crude oil, right? So there's very little difference from one barrel of oil from company A than from another barrel of oil from company B. So what happens is the market dictates the price solely based on supply and demand. If lots of people need oil and there's not that much of it available, the price of that commodity, crude oil, goes up. And how does this apply to your service business? Well, it actually completely applies to your service business, because what happens in small local markets is that services become a commodity. For example, if Mrs. Smith, she needs to hire someone to do some work for her. Mrs. Smith needs someone to install a window, let's say. So what she does is she calls 3 companies and gets 3 prices. And in her mind, she thinks, I need a window. All 3 of these people have a window. Price A is $100. Price 1's $100, price 2 is $200, and the third company is $300. And what happens is people automatically default when they're dealing with the commodity to the cheapest price, right? If you went to a gas station and it was $3 a gallon and the place across the street was $1 a gallon, which one are you going to go to? Which gas station are you going to get gas at? Well, that's an easy question to answer. So what we want to do with our service companies, we want to look at different ways to de-commoditize our service offering. And it's amazing what can be done if you just look at your business the right way. Okay, it's about the little things. And how do you stand apart? One example I like to use when talking about this as well is bread. Bread is essentially a commodity for the most part too. And the reason bread's a commodity is when you go to the grocery store, there could be 10 different companies that make a single loaf of white bread. And the prices will be pretty close, $1.50 for a loaf, or $1.25 for a loaf, or $1.60 for a loaf. And when you're in a hurry, when nothing else matters except the price, you look at the white bread and you grab the cheapest one and you leave. And what we want to do with your company is we want to get you off that white bread aisle completely, off that rack. We want you out of there. We want to put you on your own bread rack. Maybe it's another 5 feet down the aisle, and it's this wood, beautiful bread rack. And on this rack, we sell $5 bread. Now, it's still a loaf of white bread, but maybe the shape of the loaf is different, and the packaging it's in is different, and the stand that it's on is just better. It just smells different. There's something about it. And what you do when you do these things inside your small business is you separate yourself from the pack. You de-commoditize your offering, right? It's not just about how much does it cost for you to clean my thing. What you're really selling at that point is a total experience. And people love to purchase experiences, even with local service contractors. A lot of guys, they miss this. They don't understand. They don't believe it. And what happens is they only compete on price. And you don't have to do that. In the marketplace, I've found that there are basically 2 different types of buyers. You have value buyers, and then you have price buyers. And what you want to do is you want to build a book of business full of value buyers. And what that means is they don't only examine the price of something to make a purchasing decision. They also look at, how do I feel when I do business with this company? Is it a better value? Now, a Chevy Corvette costs more dollars than a Chevy Cavalier, right? A little itty-bitty cheap car versus a high-performance sports car. but there's greater value in the Corvette. Right now, they both are just basic transportation. If that's all you're looking for, if that's the only thing you're comparing, well, then you would have to go with the Chevy Cavalier. But people that buy the Corvette, they want an experience, right? They want to be part of an exclusive group. They want to own something that has, sex appeal, and it's a status symbol, right? Well, you can actually do things like that in your cleaning business, in your contracting business, in whatever kind of business you have. So decommoditizing your business is a way to get higher prices, for one. It's a way to get a different type of customer in the door for your company, a value-based buyer, rather than someone who's only shopping price all the time. And look, we all know these people, right? It doesn't matter what price you tell them, they're going to try to argue with you about it. And what they don't understand is there's a difference between price and value. When we would do bids, before I sold my company and moved to Costa Rica, when we would do bids and people would offer us a lower price, or they'd say, that's a little expensive for me, we had a script that my sales manager and our technicians were trained on. It goes something like this. I've mentioned this before, but I'll repeat it. Mrs. Smith says, Josh, $300, the last guy I had was $200. So they're being a little price sensitive. I would say this. Oh, Mrs. Smith, you know what? Maybe I got ahead of myself. Let me take about 20 seconds here and step back. I want to explain to you exactly who we are and how we do business, because it's a little bit different than probably what a lot of people are used to. First of all, Mrs. Smith, we provide a very high level of service. Okay, all of our technicians are clean-cut, non-smoking, uniformed adults. Most of them have families. They're paid a living wage, and they're true professionals at their job. They actually like coming to work. They actually want to serve you at a high level. And unfortunately, that's not normal these days. And our price is a little bit more, but it's clearly the better value, if that's what you're looking for. We are not a good fit for everybody. I hope we can be a good fit for you, but I at least want to just kind of explain that to you so you can kind of see where we're coming from. Does that make sense? That's what we would say. It's powerful. It's unbelievable the effect it has on people. One of the reasons it works so well is it has an element of what we call the takeaway. So you're almost telling a person, look, hey, you might not be a good fit for us. I'm not really sure. I'm not intimidated by the fact that you think our price is too high, Mrs. Smith, but because we're a Chevy Corvette. And not everybody can afford a Corvette. Not everybody appreciates the experience that driving a Corvette will give them. So that's one side of it, guys. That's one little nugget on how you can decommoditize your business, but it goes deeper than that. What you want to do is you want to look at all the touch points throughout your whole customer life cycle. That's what I call it, the customer life cycle. All the times you engage the customer, all the times they read an email from you, or they talk to you on the phone, or your crew shows up and they engage them that way. Every little touch point, you need to make it an amazing experience for the customer. That's how you make your bread a $5 loaf of bread. That's how you get higher margins, and you, more importantly, get the right types of customers attracted to your business. When you can get your customers to stop focusing on price so much, you can serve them at a much higher level. There's much less stress. Your company's more profitable. You can invest in your staff. You can invest in better equipment. Everything works better if everybody stops obsessing about the price. But this will never work if you don't actually deliver on that high-level experience for your customers. If you don't have clean, lettered vehicles and a uniform and your little iPad, and you don't answer the phone every time they call, and it's not just a normal cell phone that just goes to a Verizon voicemail, if you can't deliver on all those little details, then you're going to be called out. The market will recognize that that's fraudulent, that you're not a $5 loaf of bread, that you're a poser, you're a faker. But the good news is that the most of the things required to really decommoditize your business are very inexpensive. Employee ID badges, right? They cost $5 or $10. Answering your phone, that doesn't cost anything. It just takes a little motivation. Making sure your website looks clean and professional. It's inexpensive these days to have these tools in place. So guys, I hope that delivered value to you. That's my job. I'm excited about it. And if you are getting value out of this, like I mentioned in the beginning, please stop what you're doing. Give me a review on iTunes. That really helps us get the word out more. And until next time, Have a great week.
Hey, thanks for hanging out, friends. And from all of us here at the Quick Talk Podcast team, we hope you loved today's show. We hope that you were inspired to become a doer and not just a listener. Apply what you've heard today in your own business and watch things change for the better. Lastly, remember that all the money in the world can't save your soul. Seek first the kingdom of God, my friends. We'll see you next time.
For more information about the Quick Talk Podcast or Joshua's other businesses, visit our website, quicktalkpodcast.com. Have a blessed day.